Hello and welcome to Craftiosity, the subscription box of modern craft kits. This month we're making a Scandi-inspired herringbone marquetry clock using fine natural wood veneer to create the illusion of complicated marquetry with all the simplicity of a jigsaw puzzle. Inside your kit you'll find your 3 wood veneer sheets, sandpaper, the clock face, double-sided tape and your clock hands and movement. You'll also find your step-by-step photo instructions. Using a sharp pencil and your ruler, measure each sheet of veneer in 2 cm increments across the short edges. Then draw long pencil lines to join them. Rotate your veneer and draw lines every 6 cm along the long edge. You'll end up with a 4 cm strip at the very end of each row. You should now have 18 rectangles of 2 by 6 cm and 6 of 2 by 4 cm on each sheet. Don't cut these just yet. Cut 12 times 22 cm long pieces of tape for each sheet. Lay a piece of tape on either side of each long horizontal pencil line, leaving a tiny gap wide enough to cut between. Add another long piece on the 2 long outer edges. Using small scissors and short cutting motions, cut the strips in between the tape. Hold your veneer as flat as possible as you cut to prevent it splitting. Now cut the lengths of veneer along the short vertical lines. Gently sand any rough edges a little. Place your strips into 6 piles based on the colour and the length. Find the clock's centre line using your ruler and draw a pencil line as if from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Place your clock so this line runs from top to bottom. Select a 6 cm veneer piece and place it without sticking it down so that the pencil line on the clock intersects the middle of the short edge and the bottom left corner sits on the bottom of the clock face. Take a piece in a different wood and place it so that the short edge sits on top of the long edge of the first piece with the right hand side edges lining up. This will create an off-centre V shape. Place a few more pieces along the central line in this way to get a feel for the V pattern, alternating the woods until you're happy that the placement is central and straight. Starting at the bottom, peel off both strips of tape on a piece of veneer and press it firmly to secure it onto the clock face. Stick the veneer pieces very close together with no gaps. When you reach the hole in the clock centre, place the piece that will cover the hole without sticking it. Then holding that piece still, turn the clock over and outline the hole using a pencil on the back of the strip. As carefully as possible, cut out the hole from the strip. Don't worry if it's not very neat, as the clock movement will overlap the hole slightly. Make sure the hole in the centre is completely clear of overlapping veneer, then stick the piece down. Continue placing strips alternating between the 3 woods until you reach the top of the clock. When your strips overlap the edge of the face, stick them down and then turn the clock over. Holding your scissors parallel to the edge of the clock, cut out the overlapping pieces, following the curve of the clock as you cut. Keep all your offcuts. Use the smaller 4 cm pieces or your offcuts to fill in where you have smaller gaps. Fill in the rest of the clock with 2 extra rows, both of which will angle downwards. Take your time to select pieces that will fit the best to prevent any gaps between the woods. For any tiny gaps at the edge, use offcuts, making sure that they have enough tape on them. Trim on the reverse of the clock face as before. When all the pieces are attached and the small gaps filled, gently sand the outer edge of your clock to smooth any rough edges around the curve. Gently sand the clock face for a smooth finish too. Place the black circular washer onto the mechanism where the white central section sticks out. Then place the mechanism through the clock face with a mechanism on the back of the clock, and on the front place a little gold washer onto the central part. And then the little gold nut. Tighten the nut with your fingers. Check you're happy with the direction that the mechanism is hanging from and adjust it if needed. Starting with the smallest hour hand, gently push it onto the central clock mechanism. Check it isn't sitting too close to the veneer so it won't catch the wood. Adjust it if necessary. Attach the minute hand in the same way, and finally the longest second hand. Check all the hands can move freely. Pop in a battery and your clock is ready. Just make sure not to hang your clock in anywhere where there is high humidity or it could warp the veneer. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial and we look forward to welcoming you to the next craft kit next month.